Hi, welcome back to the Truth Doctor Show. My name is Dr. Courtney Tracy. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and a doctor of clinical psychology. And today I'm starting a new reaction series to Hulu's The Bear Season 2. The initial premise for The Bear Season 1 was that Carmy, who's an award-winning chef, had to return to his hometown to start running a sandwich shop that was owned by his older brother Michael, who recently lost his life to suicide.
And the routine of the kitchen was so consistent and exacting and busy and hard and alive, and I lost track of time, and he died. And he left me his restaurant.
With experience from high-end restaurants and a clash occurring between Carmy trying to take over the restaurant and everyone who had worked in the restaurant for years and years pushing back because they had a system.
System. You can barely afford to pay people, but system.
They had a way that they worked, and they're also grieving the loss of Carmy's brother Michael as well. Season 1 ended with Carmy and everyone feeling more like a family and being ready to move the restaurant, changing it from the beef to the bear. Here we go. Marcus. Seeing in this scene that Marcus is dealing with his mother being in the hospital, which is something that we briefly learned about in season 1, just tells us that he's dealing with grief on top of grief. His entire work environment has shifted because of the loss of Michael. On top of that, he's not able to really escape this feeling of grief in his own personal life as well.
Hey, how's my budget looking?
Great.
Not good.
Shitty.
All right, fuck this. Watch. The fryer is fucked. That's 5K right there. Fryer.
Shit fryer, and then another 10 for the correct fryer, and the oven is scary. That's another 10.
We are at 85. Haha, no, just kidding. 95K.
Just out of morbid curiosity, how accurate do we think these numbers are?
I think I'm pretty much right on a couple of them.
Fantastic.
Not good.
No, bad. It's bad.
For those of you that didn't see season 1, what's happening in that scene is they're trying to allocate money that they found that Michael left behind for them. They're trying to transform the restaurant from what it was to what it can be. And that's a theme that I think we're going to be expecting to see throughout the rest of this season. Who were people in the past? Who are people now? And what direction do they want to go for themselves and their life overall?
Yo, you ever think about purpose?
I love you, but I
Never think about purpose.
I have time for this.
That's sweet.
I'm trying really hard to be on board with all of this new shit, cousin. 45. Been here a long time. You feel me? I'm afraid one day I'm gonna wake up and you guys are all just gonna just drop this ass.
Richie, I'm not gonna drop this ass.
Richie just lost his best friend, Michael. Not only did he lose his best friend, Michael, but he lost a sense of his purpose.
I was running it fine without you.
Why didn't he leave it to you then?
When Michael was alive, Richie's purpose was to have relationships with the customers, to understand the city that the restaurant is in. His purpose was to be Richie. When you lose the way that your life used to function for one reason or another, it can put you in a place of existential crisis, existential dread, existential angst, where you start to question, who am I? What is my purpose? How much longer do I have to live? And what do I want to do with my life?
It's just not fun for me.
Yeah, but you love it.
That doesn't make it fun.
Just because somebody's good at something doesn't mean that it's always fun. And I love that they pointed that out. In the restaurant industry, you have to be on.
Why do you hire fucking idiots? Do you like working with fucking idiots?
I'll do better.
Say yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
And you have to be on all the time. All of the details matter. Everything connecting, all the systems working perfectly is vital for the success of a restaurant. That can cause significant anxiety and significant pressure.
We're gonna have to get the good for the new Jeff.
New Jeff?
If Carmy is the executive chef and you're the CDC, you're the new Carmy. We need a new Sydney.
Just like lurking, waiting till I said
No,
that,
just walk
or-
in perfect time.
Yeah, okay. If you need anything.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you for helping today, but you have to get the fuck out of here. You gotta save yourself.
Sydney asked me to be project manager.
We need a project manager?
I know.
Yes, yes, we do. Very much so. Yes.
Awesome.
So gas is off until hoods and overheads pass the new fire suppression test. Okay, you know, all we have to do is just stay calm and make sure we go.
Sydney!
Fuck.
Sid, you Why'd you tear a friend away?
Right there, we saw Richie pause. On the surface level, Richie usually comes off as someone who's very anxious and very angry.
I don't care. I do not care what you do up in Napa with your fucking tweezers and your foie gras. You got no fucking idea what you're doing here.
We just saw what's really underneath Richie, that he's struggling, anxiously contemplating what his purpose is, experiencing grief, reflecting on nostalgic pictures. Him coming into this situation right now and being ready to sort of explode and be really chaotic, and taking a moment to then be more communicative and have more interpersonal ability to support the team instead of just yell at the team is a really big deal.
That's 3, 4.
Yeah.
Hey, that's Mikey's favorite squad, so please show some respect,
Nice.
okay?
When you create space between what it is that happened and what your reaction is, you allow your brain to act, think, behave, perceive, and judge differently. In immediate moments, your emotional part of your brain is the most active. It's the most aware that something could be going wrong and the most capable of saying, we need to do something about it right now. But usually, because the emotional part of your brain isn't as connected to the thinking part of your brain, when you engage in emotional reactions, they're usually not the best reaction that you could come up with if you took a little bit more time to think about it. It might not be that in that moment, Richie was trying to think about the next best thing to do that isn't so chaotic. What he was just simply doing was allowing his brain a moment to connect and to think. And what came out was his ability to respond more appropriately.
Okay, what was I saying?
Gotta stay calm and take it step by step.
Right.
I know.
We've got to stay calm and take it step by step.
No, that's
It is.
what you were saying. There's not enough money.
Where do you get more?
Is that in my head?
Carmy saying, "Is that in my head?" matters. In season 1, we saw Carmy's grief, Carmy's anxiety come out in many different ways. He had flashbacks. He had nightmares. He is aware, especially with saying what he just said now, when he's like, is this in my head? He's aware that he is overloaded, that he is overwhelmed. And now we know it too.
I love this place. I want it to be a real business, an honest business with honest partners.
Because we know that any good restaurant starts with dedication to service and taking care of the customer.
Business perspective,
Okay, but who are
an
they talking
execution
to?
guide as well as a return portfolio.
Richard, will you turn that fucking thing off, please?
Uncle
What we doing
Jimmy.
here? What's going on?
He wanted to franchise this place. He wanted to open a restaurant with me.
How the fuck do you know?
Because we found your money.
Everyone was under the impression that Michael took Uncle Jimmy's money, put it in the bank, and then lost all the money, and the restaurant was starting to have all of these issues.
We didn't deliver enough meat this week.
Why didn't Wrigley deliver?
Because we're out of money.
This is the money that Carmy and the restaurant family found in the spaghetti cans at the end of season 1. This is the money that they're now using to try to renovate and revamp and reopen the restaurant. And now it seems like they're coming to Jimmy to say, we need more money. So basically, we're going to use the money that you gave us, even though we have it. We're not giving it back to you. We're moving forward. And if you don't want to lose your money, you should probably give us more.
Could you please turn that goddamn motherfucking thing off? It's making me insane. How's it not making you insane?
I don't mind it.
Lucky you. Not only are you not giving me back the original $300,000 you owe me, but you are also asking me for an additional $500,000.
500,000.
Yes, that sounds correct. We don't pay you back by the end of 18 months, and it is yours.
What's mine?
All of it. The building and the lot.
Carm.
Oh,
Carm.
shit.
What do you think? And we need a partner, and that is the truth. What do you say?
I mean, you're already under pressure. Why not put yourself under more pressure? If anything, Carmy works best under pressure.
How long will it take you to open?
With Jimmy's injection, it's gonna take at least 8 months to get into profit, which, to put it generously, is tight, given it's gonna take 6 months to open.
6 months?
6 months.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we're gonna have to find people that want to learn, which is gonna be impossible, but it's even more difficult to teach people how to give a shit.
I wanted to ask you something, and you can totally say no. It might be completely insane.
I
but
could stay later.
No. Tina, I'm asking you if you would be interested in learning how to be my Sue. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes, Chef.
Okay.
She's so
night.
happy.
Okay.
In season 1, Tina was angry. She was dismissive. She was manipulative. And most of this was directed towards Sydney.
I have been in this kitchen since before you were born, so just back the fuck off.
When people behave in these ways, there are usually defenses for something that they're feeling on the inside. You can tell that Tina knows what she has within her. Sydney giving Tina this position may be one of the first, if not the first time, that Tina's given an opportunity to be what she's always wanted to be. The amount of people that exist in the world today that find themselves in certain positions or certain roles or certain statuses, even when it comes to socioeconomic status, when they know that they could do more if only the system would allow them, is shown so well right here in this situation. And that's probably something that was going through her mind when Sydney first came into the restaurant to begin with. It's, oh, if this person's coming in right away, then there's no way that I'm going to have a position in the hierarchy of this restaurant other than where I'm currently at. So the anger surfaced. And once she was able to slowly open up to Sydney as a human being.
It's great. Thanks, Chef.
What?
It's great. Thank you, Chef. Now, let's hurry up and roll before we get rolled, yeah?
Sydney was capable of seeing her as a human being too, and give her the opportunity that she deserves. And that took some trust from Tina. And I hope that Tina's able to recognize that it was because she let her guard down that she was able to take steps forward.
She all good? Well, I'm almost out of here. I appreciate you, dude.
Quiet. Don't think I've ever heard it be quiet in here.
That letter that they just showed was one side of the letter from Mikey to Carmy that said, I love you, dude. Let it rip.
He would always say, stupid. He would always say, let it rip.
On the other side of that card was a recipe for family spaghetti, one that had been a tradition at the restaurant and in their family for years, and one that Carmy was really hesitant to actually maintain when he was making all the changes he was making in the restaurant.
I never said I couldn't figure out the spaghetti. I said it doesn't make any sense on this menu, so it is done.
Going back to your roots, going back to who it is that you really are, and allowing yourself to be that person or allowing yourself to find who you are is going to be a major theme of this show.
Are they gonna leave early?
I mean, there's only so much we can do without permits.
It's too chill.
Well, I don't know.
It's too chill. Both these characters are used to pressure, late nights, things going terribly wrong. What?
Yo!
6 months is too long.
We need to open this shit ASAP.
Heard.
Every second counts. So they just pushed it from 6 months to 3 months? This could turn out well or this could turn out terrible. What we do know is that at least Carmy has experience under a significant amount of pressure. We know a little bit about Sydney's background where she does have experience in more pressurous environments, but that it didn't actually end up working out for her when she did it on her own. And we don't have too much knowledge on what Natalie knows about the restaurant industry. The reason why I'm bringing these things up is because each of these human beings that we see sitting staring at this to-do list to open up this restaurant all have nervous systems, and those nervous systems are primed to function best in a certain way. There truly are people who function better under stress, even if that stress is killing them. The conversation that Sydney and Carmy were having in that locker room when they're like, what are you gonna do if you're not gonna do something for the restaurant? Neither of them had an answer. Now, some people may think that's bad. They may say, oh my God, these human beings need to have more of a well-rounded life. They need to have more well-rounded experiences, be able to relax, be able to have some downtime. And honestly, that might be true in some situations, but I think it's also important that we understand the context. It's not necessarily a bad thing that they're making these choices. Maybe it will be difficult, but I wouldn't necessarily say that the decision that they just made in this moment has to be a bad decision. It could be the best decision for them moving forward. It could be them just acknowledging, this is where we're at, this is how we function, and we're going to push forward.
Let's not talk about it, actually.
12 weeks to open.
The third time you mentioned it, you sure you don't want to talk about it?
Yeah, because it's like a vibe, you know?
Look, it's probably hard for your dad to be supportive because he doesn't understand that this job doesn't pay much, it doesn't amount to anything, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, you know?
Hey, how are we doing, chefs?
Not good. Makes you feel any better? My sister doesn't think I'm a genius, so.
Doesn't hurt.
Now, before we can execute a deep clean, we gotta peel all this paint.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, but what you didn't say is that there's no reason to move these lockers twice. Okay, fine, we'll do it your way. You take 2 guys. Good?
That's still your fucking way.
No, it's not my fucking way. There's not sides. There's one way. It's the fucking right way.
Watch this.
You call Mom? I don't know what they teach you about leadership at the bank, but in this kind of a situation, what you need is an alpha. They are weak as shit. That's just chemistry.
Move the fucking lockers.
It's just chemistry. When people die, we can feel out of control. When someone that we love is going through addiction, which we know is part of Michael's story before he ended up taking his life,
I didn't know my brother was using drugs.
you can feel really out of control. You can feel like all you want to do is help the person that you love, but you don't know how. So it's very likely that Richie had been dealing with feeling out of control for a while and feeling like he needed to be in control in order for things to be okay. He mentions that he took care of Michael's mom for 6 months.
Don't be rude and start doing a million things like a smart ass. I don't ever have time to take care of your mom for 6 months. No, don't you fucking!
He says it in a way where he's trying to make Carmy feel bad, and it's an important thing for us to know. Richie is clearly dealing with something very difficult internally right now.
We're gonna be sending you guys to culinary school.
Oh,
But I already know how to do it.
Oh, well, it's not about that, chef.
I don't want to wear a uniform.
Okay, well, you can discuss that with the school.
It's not that kind of uniform.
I'm going left. You gotta go right.
No,
Chaos,
it's the
chaos,
fridge handle.
chaos.
The fridge handle keeps, it's breaking. June 5th, 2010.
Taste of Chicago.
Booth.
The booth.
he gives it to Richie.
Yo,
That's
wanna work
sweet.
the apartment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait.
Hell of a lot of Sydneys.
Hell of a lot of Sydneys in here.
Don't look him in the eyes.
So Ebra's pretty hesitant to start this new chapter of his life.
Really?
It's New York. Lame, right?
I want to hate it. Like, don't get me wrong, I do. But looks sick when you got that call, the 3-star call. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, your brain does this weird thing where it just bypasses any sense of joy.
Yes.
Just like attaches itself to dread.
Beautiful. I wonder if Carmy is also experiencing some type of grief in relation to what his past restaurant career used to be.
I used to run the best restaurant on the planet Earth. It was pretty different from my brother's shithole, which is barely hanging on by a thread.
A lot of these people are going through transitions. We have Tina, who is going through a transition of finally being able to make her dreams come true. We have Ebra, who perhaps feels like he's already made it in this country as a Somalian refugee and isn't sure if he wants to be moving forward, having to take another journey to be better or to have a new identity. When he says, I don't want to wear a uniform, that could very easily be a symbolism of that. Part of the reason Carmy moved forward to work in these high-end restaurants, to retain Michelin stars for these restaurants and to gain the experience that he did, was because Michael pushed Carmy out of the family restaurant business.
He stopped letting me into the restaurant a couple of years ago. He just cut me off cold, and that hurt, you know?
It's likely that all Carmy wanted was to have a relationship with Michael and to be a part of this business. And because he wasn't able to do so, he went and found a different dream. Grief doesn't just look like losing someone. It looks like being confused about your own identity and potentially losing a part of your identity and not knowing what direction you're supposed to turn.
Fact. What's this brown shit?
I've seen some of those too. Also, why was there a hockey stick down the locker?
Sworn to secrecy.
You don't need to be here.
I'm the supervisor.
Supervisor of what?
Not good, guys. This is not good. This is
What's
not
not
good. Mold.
Is that bad?
Mold is the death knell.
Don't freak out and go calling for mom.
This is scary. This could ruin everything.
Tina's sort of thriving in this environment. Ebra's having more difficulty.
You got this, baby.
Really want one of these bullshit stars?
Yeah. Yeah, I really do. The last dinner that I did with Sharon Road was this fundraiser at this lady's house, and she was so mean. And I've got this beautiful, like this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous lamb ragu. I've been working on it for like 72 hours. It was perfect. But I didn't have any pasta.
Is that before you moved in with your dad?
That is why I moved in with my dad.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one, huh?
That was the one.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God.
Did I fuck up your recipe, or?
No, I must have just given you the wrong count. It's fine.
Wait, do you need Rolade or something? Did I give you heartburn?
I'm sorry. In sign, two of my old chefs used to do it. You know, if they were angry, fighting on the line, it helped. It was like their version of, let's talk about this later.
Yes.
It's good.
You know who could really use something like that? Parents. I feel like I'm going to actually end up using this with my husband and my toddler. Consider this. If you're someone who is in a relationship or in a friendship or has colleague relationships or whatever it is where you find yourself in an environment where you may not want to express the emotions that you actually want to express, or more so, you want to have an immediate conversation that you can't have in the immediate moment, a signal, a sign, a word, a phrase can be really helpful to let the other person know either that you see them, that you want to be seen, that you acknowledge the situation that's going on, that you think it's something that is worth communicating about in the future.
Mikey died, and I just never wanted to be in this place at all. Then my other brother started running the place, and now I'm gonna be here all the time. Fucking disgusting. Is that healthy? But as adults, we never try new things.
Who's she talking to?
It just becomes so easy to keep doing the same exact thing, the same exact people. Who doesn't want easy? I haven't even told anyone I'm pregnant. Okay, fine, Jean. Yes, you are the plumber.
She's talking to the plumber? I thought she was talking to her husband or her therapist. Natalie just said, who doesn't want easy? As adults, we just do the same thing over and over again, the same way with the same people. The human brain is wired that way. We learn routines, we learn similarity, we learn familiarity, we learn consistency and repetition. Our brain is lazy as fuck. The brain wants to use the least amount of energy and the least amount of time to get something done. So maintaining the same friendships, maintaining the same routines, maintaining the same behaviors, maintaining the same thought processes, the same judgments, the same perceptions, and trying to change things when you're going through really complex human emotions really just makes things that much more difficult.
Stuff.
We have a mold problem?
No, we don't.
It wasn't a question. A guy just returned our call about a mold problem.
Were we to have mold, they would collapse when I go like this.
Oh.
You okay, honey?
Oh, he has to stay by himself so he can get it done. But he's there and he's doing it. Sydney and her
It was
dad.
our third date, and we were maybe 20, and we hit a rock or something and popped the tire.
You don't know how to change a tire.
Not at all. I was trying to figure it out. So then she walks to the back of the car, changes that damn tire in 10 seconds.
You didn't know her
That's
dad was a
sweet.
mechanic.
I absolutely had no idea.
The best.
So her mom is gone. This is her mom's birthday dinner. What a beautiful way to remember someone.
Carm?
Claire, hey.
You
Claire.
got there.
Yeah, it took me a second.
Took you a second, yeah.
It's been,
Forever.
forever, definitely.
Yeah. So how's your life been, Brazado?
I have no idea.
You know, you did the right thing when you placed the anonymous call to the mole people.
I did.
I did. Well, I was trying to tell you.
One thing I really like about this cast of characters is that they accept each other for who it is that they are. We are seeing that each of these characters have weaknesses, they have strengths, they have things that they want to try to be good at, and they have things that they know that they're bad at. And they accept each other. They bicker, they argue, they use dark humor, and they're able to forgive one another and move forward. It's a really excellent portrayal so far of the reality of life when you start to accept that things might not be going as best as you'd like to, but it's great to have people around you who understand that and accept you for who you are.
So you have a job for a month, then not a job.
I will have a job.
These are reasonable concerns for a parent to have.
I read about restaurants in the papers.
Oh my God, what are you reading?
They're
in the
hard,
papers?
and a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them don't work out. Yes, we've actually had this conversation before.
They don't. That doesn't mean that you won't.
So then what does it mean? Why are you bringing it up? And also, I'm not alone, like, in your house. I have a partner.
And you trust him.
Yes.
I'm just asking.
Okay. I think I don't know. I just realized I'm like older than her now, you know?
But just as wonderful.
Bickering, conflict, disagreement, these things occur in healthy relationships when people are not exactly the same, when people are allowed to have perspectives and opinions that are different than their partner or than their family member or than their friend. Now knowing that Sydney lost her mother at such a young age explains a lot about how they were able to get to the level of grief reconciliation that they were able to get to, where they can bond with one another and share stories of Sydney's mother from the past, share a cupcake, remember her, and allow themselves to truly feel those emotions. Carmy said something to Sydney about how she's able to rely on her dad.
At least you can rely on him.
And that makes me wonder what it's like for Carmy and his relationship with his parents. Almost all parents are very concerned about their children's future. They want nothing but the best for them. One of the issues that comes into play is that parents tend to allow their fear of things not going right for their children to get in the way of the love that they have and hope that their children do well in the future.
You okay?
It's weird, you know?
The emotionality of the conversation immediately dropped because the underlying emotion actually surfaced. And that's something that's really critical for us to understand when it comes to having healthy communication.
What kind of doctor?
Emergency medicine.
Wow. That sounds, intense.
It isn't chill. When we were like sick, she fell off a fence and broke her arm. Me, I just like sat there and stared at her arm.
Because you wanted to fix it?
I wanted to understand it. You're doing the thing.
Trying to, yeah.
Doing the thing.
I love the name.
The name? You don't remember the name.
Of course I remember the name.
No, I don't think we even... How could you remember the name?
Because you're the bear, and I remember you. I'll just get your contact information.
Yeah, it's,
Sweet.
773 09
09
02.
02.
Yep.
That's the wrong number, isn't it? If Carmy did end up giving Claire the wrong phone number right now, it would make complete sense. Earlier on in this episode, Carmy says,
Your brain does this weird thing where it just bypasses any sense of joy. It just like attaches itself to dread.
it might not be that he himself is not ready to be in a relationship. It might be that he simply is afraid to have anything positive happen in his life for fear that something negative will happen immediately. When you're traumatized, when you've been through really difficult things in life, and this doesn't just have to be someone that you love becoming addicted to substances, it doesn't have to be somebody taking their life by suicide. It can also be a tumultuous relationship with a family member. It can also be losing a job or being unsuccessful at opening up a business that you want to. Trauma is not what happens to you, it's how you react to what happens to you. When we experience things where our brain becomes familiar with the fact that overwhelming, negative, stressful, or dangerous situations are consistent, our brain becomes used to them.
Hey, Richie, could you please turn that goddamn motherfucking thing off? It's making me insane. How's it not making you insane?
I don't mind it.
Our brain starts saying, let's not actually go for anything that's happy, healthy, helpful, or good, because something always goes wrong. It's not worth it. The work that we really have to put in when we are repairing our internal experience because of what we've experienced externally involves telling your brain, listen, I know that you think it's easier to just suffer and only accept struggle, but I'm really interested in living a different life. And I know that it's not going to be easy, but I want to push forward. Please let me know what you think about my reaction down below and hit that bell for notifications so that you don't miss out on any of my future episodes. I'm excited to see you next Thursday. And as always, I'm so glad that each and every one of you exist.